Good evening, everyone. I think that is us live. Good evening, and welcome to a special MMA UK live video this evening. My name is Lewis Smith, and tonight we're going to be talking about the upcoming EMMA event, which is going to be taking place, EMMA Four Nations event, I should say, which is going to be taking place in Ebbw, South Wales, this coming weekend, July the 14th to July the 16th, Friday to Sunday. I'm not going to be talking about it alone, as you can see. I've got three guests with me. Sorry, four. I was right the first time. Maybe even another one later on. And I'll start off by just introducing a couple of you. Dana Cripps, thank you for joining us this evening. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Excited for the weekend. So yeah, it's good to be here and to have a chat about everything.
Brilliant. Yeah, we're glad to have you. And also, I've got my sidekick for tonight, the person running the show behind the scenes, as well as being on the camera, Katie Hunter. Katie, it's been a couple of months since we done this last time.
It's been a while, Lou. Good to see you.
Yeah, always good to see you, Katie. And then our two other guests. Then we've got Liam-Og Griffin, all the way from Sunny Island. Liam, how's things?
Good, all good.
All
Happy
good
to be here.
And obviously, James Doolan as well. James, we used to usually seeing you in a hotel room when we do these type of calls. Are you in the house this evening? Oh, I think we've lost James for a second, have we?
That was unfortunate timing there.
Are you with us, James?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. I can hear you.
Yeah, I was thinking this evening. We're used to seeing you in a hotel room when we do these type of chats usually.
I'm just back from a hotel room. I was in PFL Berlin last week, and then I'm obviously been in a hotel room this weekend at the Four Nations. But I'm home for a few days. It's good to be home.
Yeah, no, fair play. Glad to see you enjoying your time at home, buddy.
Yeah.
So we'll get straight into this chat tonight. Then we've obviously got this big tournament coming up in Ebbw this coming weekend. Is the Four Nations Amateur MMA event. Obviously, as I said, Ebbw Sports Centre. For those of you who don't know where that is, it is in sunny South Wales, right up there in the valleys. And it's going to be a tournament for amateurs. There's going to be, I believe, 3 age groups: youths, seniors, and juniors. We have got multiple days of competition, and yeah, I think it's going to be under the IMMAF rule set as well. So quite a lot to sort of get through, really. But I'll come to you first, Katie. We've obviously gone across the country the last couple of years watching different amateur bouts. What do you think it's like to have these sort of big tournaments now for amateurs to showcase themselves in the UK?
I'm really excited for it. There's so much talent coming through in the UK, and I think it's just a brilliant way for them to test themselves against, not know who their opponents are going to be. I just think it's going to be really, really exciting. I'm jealous of you getting to be there and seeing all the action, because I think it's going to be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, three days of fights. And I'll come to you, Dana. I know obviously you work with EMMA. Obviously, you're going to be there this weekend. What can you tell us a little bit about Team England and what you expect from the event overall as well?
Yeah, so we've got a good squad together. Quite a few of them have come through where we've had them at the Four Nations last year. So we've got a few returning to defend their places where they got gold, silver, bronze last year. Quite a few hoping to walk away, obviously improving on that or retaining and being and still. I think the event as a whole is going to be busy. It's going to be packed with a lot of action. We've got the youth competition, which is just massive. We've got about 90 youth competitors, which is huge, and about 80 adult competitors as well. So it's just going to be a real sort of like constant flow through of some awesome fights.
Yeah, who's the main ones to really get you excited for Team England at the moment in any category? Because I know, like I said, we've got three categories: youths, youths, juniors, and seniors?
Yeah, youth, juniors, and seniors. I think for me, one of the a whole bracket to watch out for is the seniors welterweight division. That is going to be a tough division and an exciting division to watch. Everybody in that bracket is just proven themselves time and time again at regional shows. So it's going to be probably quite a nail-biting one to watch, that one. And we've also got Caitlin. She has been out to the Worlds with us. She took bronze at this year's Worlds, atom weight. She's feisty. I think that will be a good matchup for her. And we've also got Jack Humphreys returning to defend his gold in the juniors. So yeah, he'll be a good watch.
Yeah, so a pretty well qualified team there, by the seems of it. Katie,
Yeah.
was there anyone in particular you were sort of looking forward to seeing this weekend?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Mim Grub back in action. I've seen a couple of her fights. I saw her fight against Chanel Dyer where she didn't win, but she was so game and just such an exciting fighter to watch. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing her again. Ricky's just joining, so I'm just going to add him to the stream if that's okay.
Bring in Ricky Wright. Ricky Wright, how's things this evening, buddy?
Good. I'm just in Cardiff, St Mary's Street, as you can see.
There we go. And you going to be attending the event this weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be really good. Like, if you think about last year's Four Nations, it's quite a small event. This one is huge. And when they say it's the biggest amateur event in the UK, they're not lying. I mean, when EMMAA came in 2015 for the European Championships, this surpasses that by at least 100 numbers. You know, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, Rick, I'll come to you first now because obviously if you want to sort of log off because you're in the town centre at the minute, but we've just been sort of speaking to a couple of people. Obviously, we got everyone here. We're going to ask about who's the ones to watch out for from each team. So I'll come to you first on Team Wales now. Team Wales are a really deep squad this year. Who's the ones you're expecting big things from?
Do you know what? The welterweight division, we got a guy called Jay Aspinwall. He's got wins over Lowell, who's the reigning Four Nations champion. So, like, really excited about him. And I can see Dana right there now because she knows that her better half, Jordan, is in that division. So I'll stop talking now.
Fair play. Well,
but Jordan Little as well. He's one to watch out for.
Jordan
And,
Little. Yeah. No, thank you. It wouldn't be a discussion that involved Welsh MMA without Ricky Wright on it. So we had to get him in, even if it is from the centre of Cardiff on a night out by the looks of him.
I've been picking up referees and stuff from all over. Like, just picked up one of the refs flown in from Sweden. And she's been travelling for a long time and she was hungry, so I had to take her to.
Yeah.
Sorry for the unprofessionalism, but it's been very busy today.
No, it's good. It's good to see you keeping busy, Rick. It's good to see you keeping busy. I'll come to you, Liam, next. Obviously, you're coming over from Ireland. You're a coach at SBG. What's your first sort of thoughts and what are you anticipating for this weekend down in Wales?
Yeah, I love these amateur tournaments. I much prefer the tournaments to the Saturday night fight kind of feel. I know that's an important aspect of MMA, but it's a different vibe to these amateur tournaments where fighters have to fight in the middle of the day without necessarily a huge crowd, and then they have to make weight one day, win, lose, whatever, it doesn't matter, to go off and get ready and go again tomorrow and the next day. And it's a different type of challenge. It always brings a whole level out of other people, and the experience gained by the athletes is second to none. They'll gain more experience in this weekend than they would in 3 or 4 months on the domestic circuit if they were just doing regular shows, So I'm expecting a lot of level ups this weekend and looking forward to the fights.
Yeah, is there anyone in particular from Team Ireland that really
all of them,
really catches
all
your
of
eye?
them,
all of them?
We got all the toughest ones, and we just sharpened them up, and we just kind of put them on a ferry over to Wales. So you just got to watch out for all of them.
I think, it goes without saying the sort of success of Irish MMA in the last couple of years, but I know you touched on it before, but are these type of tournaments and these type of experiences things that, from an Irish perspective can just continue to push that scene even further, do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And even like for what we're noticing, I'm sure you guys are noticing the same thing, is like not everybody on the Irish circuit is going to the IMMAF circuit or these amateur tournaments, but even the ones that don't get the benefit of the guys who are coming back from those tournaments, having experienced a different level of competition, and they're raising the bar all the way through the national circuit, even for those that haven't travelled. So I see nothing but positives to this tournament format, and I'm just glad there's another couple of events that are on the circuit. So we have the Four Nations this weekend. We have our Irish Open event that we ran for youths last year that we'll be running again in November this year. So all of you guys, I'm sure you'll be bringing loads of teams with you, and we'll be doing adults as well this time. And I'm sure there'll be lots more pop up over the next couple of years. It should be as busy as the jiu-jitsu circuit.
Yeah. And James, you're coming down to Ebbw as well, am I right in saying that?
Just as he took the headphones off.
Just as he took the headphones off, yeah.
Your timing is impeccable.
Shall I go to a couple of questions, Lewis, until he gets them back on?
Yeah, go on. Get a couple of questions in, Katie, and we'll dish them out to the guys.
Okay, so Aaron wants to know if it's a possibility that a future tournament could be brought to London. Would the Four Nations travel over, like, all of the UK?
I think for us, last year we were in Liverpool and we were hosted at Fit Expo, which was great for us because we had the backing of that show to host there. And this year we kind of went, right, let's go out, let's do it on our own, let's make this more independent, make it bigger and have it hosted over a few more days. So I think so, yeah, in terms of us, it's all about like investment as well, investment in the athletes and giving them the scope that they need and a platform that they need. So I think absolutely it's something that we would look to in the future.
Awesome. And then one for you, Ricky. Peter wants to know what your thoughts on recent events at IMMAF and how you would resolve the issues there.
To be honest, I want to keep this about the Four Nations, and you know, at the end of the day, the Four Nations is this weekend, and that's why we are speaking today. So I just want to focus on that for now. Once the Four Nations happens and we can enjoy the success of it, then we can maybe chat about that in future.
Yeah. Great question, Peter Knox. Always comes in with the hard hitting question, doesn't he?
Awkward.
Have we got James? Can you hear us at the moment? So we wanted to come back and obviously get a little bit of a rundown on the Scottish team as well. It looks like he's frozen, doesn't it? Or is it just me?
It does. I'm not
he's
sure.
He's just giving you the 100-yard stare.
Yeah, it's that Scottish Wi-Fi. It is.
Yeah, it doesn't reach up that far.
No, but while we wait for James to get back, Dana, how much goes into putting these events on? Obviously, it's like Ricky said, it's a massive event, bigger than last year again. How much does this take to get an event like this together with all the, 4 teams from 4 different countries, 3 different categories, multiple weight classes? You've got Ricky Wright driving around picking up referees, probably charging £200 an hour. How much organisation does it take?
It's been an experience. I think for us here at the English team, we've all really come together as a team and pulled this off. We've got the youth coaches dealing with the squad there. We've got our head coach, Paul Kelly, dealing with the adult squad. The organisation, honestly, for me, with nearly 200 competitors, it's just chasing people to get them registered, making sure everybody knows where they're going, the communication that goes into it, and making sure everyone's on the same page is it's vital to making it work, because if anybody's left out of the loop or not communicated with, then it's just trouble. Weight brackets, fitting people into the weight brackets they want to be in, it's been an experience, and I cannot underplay the time and effort that's gone into this from our team. We're all volunteers. Nobody gets paid a penny from our federation. We are all volunteers. And you've got people like Marie Spencer and Leon Roberts making sure all of our coaches, anyone coming to this event within a coaching or officiating capacity, has been DBS checked. If they're dealing with the youth team, they're doing their safeguarding. So administrating and regulating all of that is huge, and the effort that's gone into it is phenomenal, really.
Yeah.
Can I just say as well, from a Welsh point of view, and I'm sure Scotland and Ireland agree, that Dana has been absolutely fantastic, and she's the driving force behind this tournament. Like, everyone's helping out and pitching out and doing their own bit, but she's the one everybody goes to and bombards with questions. And fair play to her. Huge round of applause.
Yeah. So we're bombarding her again. So we're bombarding her one more time tonight. Then is that how it is, Dana?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Liam, I want to come to you. Like, obviously, you mentioned earlier about all the sort of unique aspects about preparing for this type of a tournament, but from a coach's perspective, how does this differ for your guys coming in? They've got same day weigh-ins, multiple fights over a weekend. How does the preparations differ for that from one fight in a night and more regular type of MMA competition, I suppose?
Well, you don't get to game plan for a specific opponent. That's a little bit different. You're going to have the game plan for everybody in your bracket, assuming that you're going to fight all of them at one point in time, or all of the ones that are on your trajectory to gold, So you kind of have a collection of game plans that you have to pull out at the drop of a hat. Other than that, the physical preparation is pretty much the same. You just focus on the athlete themselves and their own game plan. Mental preparation is a big one that we've noticed over the last few years. A lot of athletes do very well in their first fight. Not everybody can switch it back on day two. So if an athlete has that kind of adrenaline release, and then they kind of come down off that high, if they can't reboot, reset, and get back at it the following day, they'll underperform. And a lot of times you'll see some of the top athletes go out on day two for that reason alone. So preparing for that is a big part of any of the camps that we do in preparation for a tournament style event like this. Is just getting used to that process of unwinding and setting yourself back up again. Yeah. But physically, it's all the same.
Yeah. And James, I want to bring you in now if I can, because we've lost you a couple of times due to that Scottish Wi-Fi. Can you hear us now?
Aye, I fixed it. Sorry about
that. No worries. But yeah, I'd like to get your take on these type of tournaments, James. Obviously, you coach a lot of pros, lots of amateurs as well. What's your thoughts on these sort of tournaments, multiple days, multiple fights and weigh-ins? How do you sort of feel the best way to prepare for that is really for these athletes?
I'm in favour of them. I wish there was more of them. I know all our athletes are the exact same. Last year, I think we sent like 6 guys down, and they've came back up the road raving about it. So I would like to do more of them. We've got a couple of guys that train with us who are involved with the Scottish and the GB boxing setup, and they're constantly away to countries where they're boxing multiple times over 2 or 3 days, sometimes 4 days, and it's helping these guys get to maybe 50, 60 fights before they're 21 years old and stuff like that. So the more experience we can get at amateur, the better. We try and use the time at amateur just to start formulating people's games and stuff like that and get them ready for pro ranks. So we're massively in favour of it. It's unfortunate there's only really the once a year for us now, but we're obviously looking to get more involved with other stuff and get guys involved at multiple tournaments throughout the year.
And obviously we missed you earlier, but in terms of Team Scotland, what can you tell us a little bit about the team you've got coming down? Is there any guys we should be watching out for that really catch your eye at the moment in that squad? I know obviously they won't be in the squad if they're not absolute killers, but is there anyone in particular that you can sort of think of?
So obviously Kunle Lawal's coming back. He won it last year. And he had another fight after that. He lost recently to Jay Aspinwall at Cage Warriors Academy. Very, very quick. Like, he got caught in a guillotine, maybe like 15 seconds in or something. So he's very motivated to try and get that match back at the show. Unfortunately, Jay's first match is against one of Kunle's teammates, another kid called Lorenzo Parenti, who's had 16 amateur fights now. I think he's 10 or 11-5 or something like that. He's had a couple of good performances recently. Just beat Ken Darcy So they two are the kind of standout. They're the best two amateurs in Scotland right now. So they two are most experienced guys. Obviously, Coonley went into that competition last year on a 3-fight losing streak, and got Teddy Stringer in the first round, and just kind of came into his own and just showed everybody what he's capable of last year. So it's just going to be a case of both of the guys are probably going to have the last run at amateur at this tournament, and then look to turn pro. They've both had, like I said, about 16 amateur fights. So there's them two, but we've got, on top of that, there's a couple guys like really kind of hungry up and coming guys. A kid called Sean Conway for Craig McIntosh's gym, he's a bit rough technically, but he's violent. Do you know what I mean? He's going to be in there and he's going to make a fight, and he's tailoring his game towards his personality and what he can bring to a fight. So he's always fun to watch. This kid, it'll take a little bit of stopping to beat him. So it's exciting to watch him. There's a kid actually coming down, a Ukrainian kid that Ricky knows, called Ivan Lodbrok, who's in the Scottish team. I've not actually met this kid yet. Ricky knows him quite well, I think. For what I hear, he's a serious prospect. But
as the only Russian speaker that will be at this event, I'm going to have to corner him by the sound of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he came to live in Wales last year, and he trained with a few of the gyms down here. Then they moved him to Scotland, but the guy got bags of talent, and like he was meant to fight Bevan Hall last year on Cage Warriors Academy, and the fight never happened because he got moved to Scotland. But now I'm pretty sure them two are the best junior flyweights, and if they Bevan and even meet in the final, that's just going to be some of the fights, the potential matchups this tournament are so crazy, and I love it because anything can happen in this type of tournament, and so thanks for shouting out my boy Even, but I'm going to be strictly Welsh. But I hope he has a good tournament, though.
Speaking of Team Wales as well, Rick, we've got a winner from last year coming back. Rowan Crocker's going to be taking part, isn't he? He obviously won it last year at middleweight. This year, he's done the double at Cage Warriors Academy at the middleweights and light heavyweights, and now he's coming back to do it at light heavyweight. Hopefully for him at the Four Nations. Can you speak a little bit about Rowan and what he brings to this tournament?
Rowan Crocker, you've got to just look at his amazing run in the IMMAF World Championships earlier this year. Every day he went to fight, and every day he was just like something to behold. It was so exciting to watch him, and his dad was in the crowd cheering him on, singing Amar Ohid. And I think Rowan, there's only one or maybe two in his bracket, so I think as it stands, it might be a straight final. But like, Rowan's done everything there is to do as an amateur, and whether he turns pro after this or whether he has another crack at the IMMAF, he's one to watch, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's a guaranteed gold this Sunday. And even his opponent, you must look and think he's up against someone like Rowan. The guy is something else, So I'm excited to see what happens on Sunday with him.
Yeah, I'll sort of swing this back round to Liam and James, because we have a lot of these guys now at these type of tournaments, guys who really sort of build themselves up in the amateurs, get massive records. At what point, as coaches, do you sort of advise these guys to say, look, you've done all you can do at amateur, now is the time for you to sort of make a run at the pros? Is there a specific time, or is it different for every fighter?
For me, it's very, very specific to the individual fighter. We've had guys before we've had one or two amateur fights, and they just suit pro fighting better. It's for me, it's more about the work ethic in the gym. If the guys are developing at the right rate and training hard enough, they can turn pro. How they're managing stuff mentally, how they're coping under the lights and stuff like that. Some guys again, we've turned pro very, very quick, and they've handled it and done very well. Like the easiest example for me is a kid we had called Graham Turner, who had one amateur fight and then turned pro on his 18th birthday. Had 36 pro fights. He fought for the Cage Warriors world title, lost to Jim Allers, but he beat guys like Nad Nimanari, Ashley Grimshaw, Nathan Beer, like good fighters. He just had a style straight away that suited pro rules better than amateur. He had more time with the fives and to work stuff out and stuff like that. But the flip side of that is we've been able to develop Kunle pretty well as an amateur. So the problems that showed up when he had that little losing streak is mental stuff's been ironed out, and then the physical and the tactical problems we've been able to deal with, as well as kind of just dealing with some confidence issues. So it's very, very much dependent on the fighter. For me anyway, for what I've noticed as a coach.
Yeah, and same question for you, Liam. How do you manage that sort of transition from these high-ranking amateurs into the pros?
So just to answer the first part of the question, I the last few years I've been pushing a lot of the amateurs from my gym to do as many of these tournaments as they can, get up to 20 fights, get up to 30 fights, and it's not necessarily about the actual fights, it's about the types of opponents that they are exposed to. And by going to an IMMAF event somewhere in Asia or somewhere where you have like Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Bahrain, all of these countries that they have like a different style of wrestling to what we're used to in Europe, and just getting exposed to that, because I want them to be exposed to that as amateurs, whether they win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter. As long as they're exposed to it as amateurs, then when they get to the UFC, they don't run into a Hamzat Kamia for the first time in the UFC. They've had that pressure before. They feel that kind of mountain strength from Dagestan, and even if you can't deal with it right now, at least experience it and then start game planning it from now for the time that you get to face Islam Makhachev or somebody like that, but making the transition, I would say that's a more individual. The timing on that is individual as well. We have a couple of athletes who are a little bit older, so their potential run at pro is shortened by the biological clock, and they have to make the jump a little bit sooner. Others, if they're a lot younger, I would encourage them to stay as long as possible. Get on the podium a few times at world level, and then you can walk into a pro career knowing you're going to smash most of the people at early pro.
And Katie, obviously, like I said, we go and watch a lot of these fights. It is great to see we get guys coming out of these tournaments like, we get Jack Shaw's. Mohamed Makayev, I think, is a really good example of a guy who fought a ton at amateur, didn't he? How much do you sort of get inspired by that, and how much does it make you look forward to seeing these guys, what they do next?
Oh, I love it. Quite a few of my favourite pro fighters or people who've just turned pro, people who had a go at the IMMAFs, Lexi Brooke and Levi Steedman and all of those guys, and I agree, just as much exposure to as many different fight styles before you turn pro has got to be a good thing, surely. And even like you say, going to a different country, having to stay away is different to going to maybe your hometown show and like having a big crowd there for you. Like this will be a different experience again. And I just think as many different types of experiences as you can get before you take it to the next level, if you want to take it to the next level, I think can only be a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. Did we have any more questions from
we do.
audience?
Less controversial this time. Peter wants to know if the Four Nations will be streamed live.
Yeah, it's going to be streamed through Live MMA. So if you look on the English MMA socials and website, we've got all the links up on there. I think it's $16.99, and that's for the full thing. So that's for all 3 days.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, normally it's at least a tenner for 1 day. So that's
that's the link for the 3 days, is it?
Yeah, all 3 days.
There you go.
Brilliant. Okay. We'll try and put that link at the bottom of the interview when we share it. Awesome. We also had somebody say, sorry, this is new software to me, so I'm not as handling it as well as usual. all you need to know about the Scottish team is they're a bunch of savages and they're all ready to bring it and come to put on a show.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, James?
It's quite a strong word, savage. Hopefully they're a wee bit more technical.
How many guys you got coming down, James?
Say that again, sorry.
How many guys you got coming down?
The team's maybe, it's definitely, I think it's double what we had last year. I think the last time I checked, which was this morning, there was about 16, but I know there's still a couple names on that list this morning who were possibly not coming. So I think there's definitely 14 or 15.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we've got another one from Aaron. Are there any middleweights the respective teams fans should look out for?
We've got a big tall lad named Peter Halfpenny who's a dangerous man, so look out for him.
Peter Halfpenny.
We've got Sydney on our team as well, so he came to the Worlds with us as well. He's a good lad.
They're all midgets. The Scotland team's all small. Welterweights are the biggest, I think. A lot of wee midgets up here.
We got a lad, and I don't know much about him, to be honest, because I haven't seen him fight, but I looked at his record, and I thought, well, guy is some good names. Know more about Ellis Westcott than myself, from the area. So, Lewis, you could take this one, mate.
Yeah, Ellis, he's another tall guy, Stretch, I believe they call him. He fights out of Show MMA now. He's been there for a good few years. I can't remember his exact records, but I've seen him fight a couple of times, and he's beaten some very good guys at amateur. So if he gets it right, I think he's definitely going to be a big prospect and a big challenger in that division. But yeah, Ellis is a very good fighter, and again another tall guy. So yeah, these middleweights are not small, are they? So always exciting to see him go at it. Was there any more we had, Katie?
Just Peter confirming, sorry, wrong one, that we'll post the links to the pay-per-view on the MMA UK channel. So we'll share that with anyone who's looking for that.
Yeah, brilliant. So yes, I guess that kind of wraps it up for this evening then, in terms of running through the individual fighters and the individual teams. Obviously, it's great, obviously, as a Welsh guy, that we don't have to travel, me and Ricky, very far to see this event and see, the small town of Evervale become the centre of British MMA for the amateurs, at least for the weekend. So we're all really looking forward to this. What's that?
British and Irish.
British and Irish. My
yeah.
apologies, of course. My apologies. Dana, any last words about this weekend? What people can expect, and can people still get tickets for it as well? Dana, I should have asked.
Yeah, still got tickets on sale through Ticket Source. I can send you guys the link for that as well later. We've got loads of different options. We've got some VIP tickets, which have got meet and greets involved with some of the UFC guys that are there over the weekend.
Who's going to be
there? So we've got Dan Hardy will be there, Mark Goddard. We've got Molly McCann coming down, Jack Shaw, Brett Johns. That's all I can remember off the top of my head.
Harris Artinstall.
Yeah.
And Lauren Price. 2 Olympians.
Yeah.
Olympic gold medalists and Olympic bronze medalists.
Amazing.
They come to watch Lauren Wolf, who they're friends, and from what I'm told, Lauren is again, Lewis would know more about than me. She's one to watch.
Yeah, I saw Lauren. She competed only a couple of weeks ago down at Cage Warriors Academy Wales, and he is a exceptionally talented striker, very good kickboxer. Obviously she's training now down at Show MMA and really trying to round out her skill set by the looks of it, with her takedown defense and I guess being able to stay on her feet and get those strikes in action. So yeah, very good prospect for Welsh women's MMA there. And like as you said, great to have someone like Lauren Price turn up for what she's achieved in the Olympics. So yeah. Seems like it's going to be quite a lot of big stars down there as well, Dana.
Yeah, it should be good. I think with the youth tournament going on as well is going to be so busy, and I think everyone will be surprised at the level of the level across the kids is just phenomenal. It surprises me every time at how brutal they are, how much they want it, and just their overall like athletic ability in the sport is outstanding. So that'll be a good one to watch. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be an awesome weekend. So anyone who's in the area who wants to travel, get down there, because yeah, it won't be one to miss.
Brilliant.
One final question, sorry Lewis, for everyone. Is there anyone you're looking forward to watch fight out of the other nations teams? I guess most of you have said the welterweight division is the one to watch, so surely everyone's looking forward to that.
Jordan Little.
Oh. I would say, honestly, for me, it's that welterweight division. I think it's a really exciting match. And the lightweights as well. Lightweights, I think, will be good.
Always exciting weight class, isn't it?
We've got Kunlalaw's older brothers actually in the lightweight tournament this year. James Doolan. He's like a little smaller than Kunle, obviously, but he's 5-0 coming down, and he's going to be exciting to watch. I think that the welterweight division is very, very stacked. I think it stands head and shoulders above the other divisions. In terms of the question, I think just Rowan Cockler for me. I think he was very good last year, and then he's had that run at the Worlds and stuff. So if it is like his last few fights at amateur, it's always good to watch those guys at amateur and then be like 5 years down the line, be like, I remember watching that guy as an amateur. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to watching him fight.
Yeah. And anyone for you, Liam?
I'm gonna plead the fifth on this because I'm not massively familiar with the cast and crew, but like all the fighters themselves keep telling me that they're looking forward to mixing it up with all the guys. They've been watching tape on them, so I'm just gonna look forward to everyone. When
are you heading down, Liam?
So we're flying
over. I'm not sure which way it is.
There's a few of them starting to travel already. So they're so we have to go through Dublin. For most of us have to go through Dublin. So I'm flying on am I flying Friday night? So I'll be arriving in on Friday night. And some of the other athletes are obviously on Friday morning, so they're already en route.
Brilliant. James, what about yourself?
My guys are leaving tomorrow. Supervising Paul Craig's last spar on Friday morning, and then leaving straight for that to head down. I think we've got on the Friday, I think Tunde and Lorenzo fight on the Friday, and the rest of the guys have got buys and start on the Saturday. So I'll be Friday night. I think a 7-hour drive gets me in about a couple Burger King stops, gets me in about midnight, I think, on Friday night, hopefully.
Wow, you're brave driving it down, yeah, James. I will say that I've done it before. It's not an envious drive, that.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah. Just while we're on the subject, how is the Beju looking in training at the moment? I know he's got his middleweight debut coming up, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's good, man. His weight's good. He's obviously been working on the striking with us for a bit now. I think he's been with us since October last year. And I think he'll just prevent different problems for guys at light heavyweight. At middleweight. He was very undersized as a light heavyweight. He's a vegetarian, so he's weighing in at 93 and going in at 96, 97. And you've seen it in the fight with Johnny Walker. I think Johnny's went back in at 115 kilos or something. Like he's a big light heavyweight, and it's just a different game when they're that much bigger. So he's now going to be 6'4" at middleweight. We've been adding bits and pieces to his game, and he's obviously got that jiu-jitsu, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with him at middleweight. I think he'll definitely not get out muscled for as much, which is a good thing, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, sorry to change the subject there as well, but we got to pick James's brain when we got him ahead of fights like these, so we got to be done that. Ricky, any last words before we call it a night?
I just really excited about it. The build up to it has been fantastic. The excitement, we haven't spoken enough about the youths who are fighting, and as Dana said, they're so good to watch, and they've got such a killer instinct about them. So if people are watching this and they're coming along, don't just watch the juniors and the seniors, and in the big cage. Watch the youths as well in the other cage, because they're the ones who are going to come through, and they're the ones who are going to be the next big stars. And so just, if anyone's coming, just make a weekend of it. Come every day, see all the fights, get involved with the meet and greets. Just leave feeling like you've really got your money's worth and you've had a good weekend. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, brilliant. Great words there, reckon. Katie, I'll come to you as well, because we always say when we go to these shows, the amateurs, they get better and better. Like when we first started watching pros, the amateurs almost seem to be on that level now, right? Starting off. Can you just speak to me a little bit about that and how much we sort of see it grow every year, really?
I just find it so exciting, and they just impress me so much, the way a lot of them train like pros from such a young age, and they're so committed and they put everything into it. And whether that's their nutrition or the number of times they're training, I get goosebumps thinking how good these guys are going to be when they get a bit older. Like, it's incredible to me. I think it's amazing to put this on, and it can just only make the talent coming through the UK better and better and better.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, big shout out to the Four Nations this weekend for really helping to sort of push that scene in the UK and help develop these fighters. It really is amazing. As James and Liam have both said, they wish they could get even more competition like that. So great to have these shows. And I think on that note, guys, I just want to say thank you for all coming on. It's been great, obviously, talking to you and get all your opinions. And I mean, maybe we'll do like a review show at some point in the future over this. But keep an eye out for me. I'll be at the shows. Be trying to get some post-fight interviews with some of the fighters, some of the coaches, and that will obviously all be shared on MMA UK. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, guys, enjoy. If you're watching in Ebervale or if you're watching online, enjoy, and see you all again soon.
Amazing.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.